Hi traders, this is Thiago and welcome to Bull or Bear Futures channel. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like, leave your like during or in the end of the transmission. Today we are carrying out another live stream. Uh, my intention here is just to narrate the order flow. My perspective, my approach is that mixing order flow tools together with tech charts and technical analysis can give the trader a competitive edge. So my objective in this live streams is to exactly to show this how to work with both schools based especially here in my volumetric bars and volumetric price at Superdome. So if it's our first time, hope you enjoy, and if you are usual usually watching, such as my friend Aaron. Good morning, Aaron. Hope you enjoy as well. So let's start here. As usual, let's see here the at the daily chart. We are seeing this from March 13. We are within an uptrend channel. It's a well-defined channel. We've had four touches at the support line. In the ups, in the support, in the resistance line up there, we have been also respecting this, and we are in an important region here because I have here this bold downtrend line is from January 22nd. So we overcame it, and prices are actually struggling to trade above it. And we have also the 200 days simple moving average, this green line here, and 200 days exponential moving average. As you know, market broadly use these two average, or especially the simple moving average, but I like using both of them to describe or to get clue about the long-term trend, long-term perspective. So uh, we are struggling here. This is a region that usually we see some prices getting stuck. We see here in February, we spent many sessions trading downwards, but around the simple moving average, and we are right at it now. Yes, yesterday we made a not that beautiful candle for buyers, but let's see what's going to happen uh, today. Yesterday low was 997. So this will be interesting reference here, because considering this channel, we have this uptrend channel here. If we fail to reach the resistance line up there and move downwards, considering we are seeing a bearish pressure, and we're actually not that auspicious moments, banking crisis, doubts about interest rates. We are not living easy moments. So I understand that in this kind of moments, it's easier to move downwards than to have a bullish reaction. So I think that if we fail to test this resistance line above, in the case of moving downwards, we could see sellers putting pressure. Okay, we just open. Let's see here, coming to the session, the overnight session. Price traded most of the time within the value area. Okay, at some point in the night, we started a downtrend after a strong rejection in the value area high. So we've moved it to the other end down here, value area low that is actually at 004. And now we are struggling from early in the morning. We're in this downtrend, and let's see what happened. Let's see what happened here in the regular session. Okay, what else we could let me just put here my figures. These are my points here. I think from this region of 4,000, we have a congestion here because we have 200 days moving average in 002, value low in 004. 5 was important before. We had the close at 725. 9 is important as well. Point of control 11. So it's becoming hard to get. If you see, you have lots of points from 400 to 25, 30, and it's getting difficult to take as base because almost every points we've had something happening. Okay, so it's very important firstly to know that we have we had important points. All of them were actually important, but we need to stick to the flow that within the session, in every session. Okay, so this is the message. Let's see. Let me put here just to remind about the calendar. Uh, Consumer confidence. We'll have consumer confidence at 10. Regarding the economic calendar, Thursday we'll have the GDP and Friday the PCE. So it tends to be the most important. But anyway, every session we have something being released, so we need to watch out to the calendar since even all indicators, pending home sales, or all indicators regarding to consumption have been quite important. And so let's see what happens. Just arranging my screen here. Just a second, guys. Okay, let's see if we have what we get so far here in the volumetric bar. Let's see firstly here at Super Dawn. We have few volume. Okay, we don't have actually any range so far. 300, 400, 500 contracts. This is actually too few. My connection seems to sometimes it's it's stopping. Okay, we don't have actually a range. Okay, few contracts. So even though we see a profile here, we need to see at least 1,000, 1,500, 1,800, 200 contracts here to be meaningful. Okay. Uh, it's I have my connection is it seems that it's stopped here. I have some problem. Let's see if it will fix. Otherwise, I need to at least to restart the connection. Let me just take the opportunity to to say about the volumetric bar here. Okay, at the volume at price, we actually don't see relevant info. And so far here in the volumetric bars, we have an exhaustion in 03. Okay, this, considering the region it took place, it was meaningful because we have the 2 as a moving average, the 4 was important, 4 was value area actually. So this exhaustion here, right at the volumetric, the volume area low, the volume, this is it was interesting. You see here 1,700, 600, 211, and 0 at the bid. So it was an exhaustion actually. And so let's see what's going to, let me just try to disconnect and connect again. Or let me see if I will need to, reset the platform. Sorry about that. Excuse me for this inconvenience. Let's see if it will restart. So we need to be actually, as I've been saying, uh, we need to be careful. We need to be very careful because it's hard to, it's been hard to, it's not been easy to trade. Okay. We had lots of information and it's been a busy times. So it's always interesting to stick to the flow, to watch, to 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 watch out what's actually happening and avoid unnecessary exposure, isn't it? Because uh, it's well, it's not been that easy. So we need to always pay attention to what's happening. We're starting. I've mentioned. So excuse me again. I mentioned about the volume profile. Now we're starting here. You see from 9.7. The yesterday's low was 9.7, so it was possible actually that it was possible to see some struggle here. We could see players trying to defend the region. Uh, if we see here the volumetric bars, we have 8 minutes of session. We are seeing here from 7 to 99. The most of the action have been here so far. So let's see if we are going to, let's see what's going to happen. We see, but we keep seeing here fill volume above and fill volume below. Let's wait for the developments. It would be interesting to follow up if overcoming the 4,000 here, if it would be able to reach the 2 at least, because trying many times and failing at the 2 could confirm the bearish strength, and then we could see uh, bears trying to put pressure. Okay, let's see if they will be able to. Let me just put here this value area. I like seeing it. Here we are forming the range. The range I usually like seeing. Let's see. But look here, if we see here, sellers are absorbing. We are seeing lots of buying. Oh, now we have a kind of breakout, but so far an exhaustion in 125. Let's see if it will overcome the 2. For buyers, it would be important to overcome the 2. Otherwise, if they fail, but we are seeing sellers absorbing in the 1, okay? We see sellers defending here, but at the same time, sellers trying to put pressure to move downwards, but look at the absorption, buyer's absorption here. This is a strong absorption. This is a big absorption, an interesting absorption. As I always mention, we usually see this before a breakout, but it does not necessarily mean that when it happens, there will be a breakout, because uh, sellers could end up being stronger and being able to overcome this support. Okay, we're seeing a good struggle here, but you see a struggle below the two. This is bearish, actually. So what is the context? In this weekend video, I've mentioned about the relevance of sticking to the context. We moved upwards. There was a kind of a breakout, but we failed to overcome, to reach the two that was a previously important region. In a bearish scenario, failing to reach the previous top is not bullish at all. Now we are seeing here, after that absorption in the 0.50, we've seen sellers absorbing 9 to 4. So this reinforces the bearish perspective. And so below the 750 here, we could see sellers trying to put pressure to test the low. But especially in the beginning of session, it's better not to wait and not to believe that much in the breakouts, because we are seeing many sessions prices ranging. Okay, here 97, we are right at the end of a range. So in this kind of scenario, it's better to believe that a defense will take place, such as in this case 97, 96. It would be likely to see a defense here, then a breakout right in the first time. Okay, it would be needed to see lots of pressure here to be to increase the probability of seeing a breakout. Yeah, Aaron, let's see what's how the confidence will be, consumer confidence. So let's see. We just reached the 99. Let's see if we'll be able to move upwards. You see. So we are seeing we are ranging here. It respected the 97. Now we are trying. The clear end of the range here is the 01. Okay. Let's see in the case of 01. So 01 here is the point. If we see moving upwards with few contracts, let's see here. Look at here. Buyers put pressure again, sellers absorbed. Let's see if buyers will be able to keep above the 0.50 here. We are seeing they putting pressure. But it's interesting to see. Look at here. I like seeing this filter times and sales. Since I had to reset, I miss, it's missing 6 minutes of info. But look how few big orders we have, and all of them is selling orders. So this is an interesting indication for me. This, it does not mean that anything is going to happen. It does not necessarily mean that a breakout could not take place, but to see stronger moves, it's better to see intensity here, to see lots of big orders from one side or the other. So when it's lacking big orders this way, it's even more risky to believe or to bet in a breakout. Okay, it could happen, always. It could always happen, but since we need to try to minimize risk, This is a condition that I don't like. Look here, few contracts, few contracts, kind of not actually a strong breakout, but we've been seeing this price make a breakout, small breakout, 4 points, keep ranging, and that's the way it's working. But we're seeing this so far. We had 16 minutes of session, and we have 10-point displacement. That is few. We are seeing this in some sessions, but 3 4 weeks ago, we were using an increased. We were seeing increased volatility. Now it was smaller, and we've seen here from 97 to 02. Now it overcame the 02.50, and let's see if it fails in trading below. We could see moving a bit, keep a bit above. We see now buyers trying to defend, buyers making a lot of action here, aggressive orders, sellers reacting, and buyers absorbing here in the left column. So this is the condition that if I would be doing something, would only consider to do something maybe counter trend right up there in the two, and maybe here from 7 to 6, and to believe, or to make a, for example, to start believing in an uptrend, we would to overcome and see lots of buying absorptions above the 5 4 5. Then it could could be some clue about possibility of doing, or then trading below the 7, losing the 9 4, and failing to reach the 7 again. Then we could start considering possibility of just I could start considering uh, trend trades. But so far it's also risky, but it would be only matter of try to trade the range. But I don't like seeing this. Look how many, it's too few contracts, and displacing 2, almost 3 points. I don't. It's for me. It's not. It's not that interesting. But I like to take in consideration in 4,000 ticks. Look here, we had a lower shadow, a big lower shadow here in this candle. Okay, when prices are trying to move up, and I see this kind of shadow, for me, it increased the likelihood of a breakout in a possible other attempt here. Okay, even considering this region as the end of a range, at this time I wouldn't try anything up here. We're seeing buyers increasing the activity here. This big shadow shows that buyers sellers pushed price down, but buyers were able to quick recover. And then, even though we are in a value area low, that could be actual resistance, my risk perspective wouldn't let me try anything. Look here, we are seeing sellers making aggressions, but buyers absorbing up here. this we are seeing this was the upper end of the congestion of the range, and we've seen increased activity above the two. This many times is a signal that buyers are when we overcome a range and keep ranging or struggling a bit above. This is a bearish a bullish signal, but we're seeing that it's been hard to trust because we were trading there, but at the same time failed there. And look how few contracts have been spent to move all this. Let's see here if the 97 will be respected again. As Aaron mentioned about the news in 8 minutes, there's an indicator. So based on what we've been seeing so far, maybe after this release we could see some action, but could be hard to see some contundent move before it. But let's see. You see, in this latest push, buyers were able to move until 28. Sorry, 9825. Here we could say that it was practically the end of the range. Let's see. Let's see. After failing up there, we are trading in negative territory. We failed to reach, or we have an exhaustion right at the value area low. That is a resistance. So, but did you see? We spent few contracts to reach the 28, and then few contracts to move to 02 again. We're shaking with few contracts, and for me, it's not that comfortable. Let's see. We are right at the 2.50 again. Look how too few contracts to consider a breakout. It does not mean that it's not going to happen, but it's better to see intensity, because you are trying a breakout, you're trying to push. Then when you get it it miss it you stop. This is a terrible clue to the opponent about at least an excitation. It could not mean that it's not going to happen, but this hesitation is meaningful. But let's see. The chart shows us that two times buyers are able to defend down there. We didn't make a new low here. The previous low was 650. And so now overcoming the 4, we could see prices speeding up. But and we see here, we had an interesting 4,000 tick bar here, green bar here. So maybe if it overcome the 5, we could see an acceleration, but missing 4 minutes to the indicator, it would be it would be perfectly understandable to that buyers could avoid trying anything. We've seen again, it just reached there. We had to see intensity. It lacked intensity, so the other side immediately start pushing, putting pressure because let's see here. Sellers putting pressure, buyers absorbing, buyers putting pressure, sellers absorbing here in the 0 1. Let's see down here the 750 and 7. What's going to happen if they reach here? 750 and 7. Let's see. Just reached the 825 again. It was the same, yeah, the same point. It reached latest try. Two minutes. We have 290,000 contracts traded. It's it's not that much for this period. I'll start taking note about the amount of contracts at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. just to have reference. Let's see. Today at 10 we have around 290 just to have a reference. Now we're seeing what happened up there before. Price reached here, but this time buyers were not able to push up. Sellers keep putting pressure, and buyers absorbing. This selling absorption for me here in the 9725 is the reference. We should see this action here, this selling absorption down here, then we could believe for a second. Let's see. Liquidity reduced here in the book. Look here, reduced liquidity in the book, a small depth of market. Let's see. Even by this time with few liquidity, low liquidity, price didn't traded below the 97. This is some of the, but now, yeah, it did. Because in this time, I always, I obviously do not trade. I do not do anything, but I like seeing some reference that we had before in the volumetric bars, these regions, because if in such a moment with few liquidity, if you didn't see price overcoming a region, even with few liquidity, it's meaningful. It's meaningful because it's you see that there was not needed even a defense there. There was an exhaustion when reached, or the attacking side had quit the attack. So you see here, we've reached the 9.5, reached 9.5, but so far failing to trade. Let's see. Sorry. But you see, it failed down here. Let's see if it will try to reach, or if it will be able to reach the 0.2, at least 0.3 actually. Or if we start failing to reach, even reach, and overcoming there, it could be a bearish signal. Let's see. Now it's no. I would say that it was facing difficult to overcome the 4,000, but it just did it. Let's see here. Let's see here the 350, if it will reach there. We're seeing aggressions, 1.50, sellers defended, buyers absorbed. But oh, let's see. 350, it reached the 375. But again, with few contracts, but at least there was not actually a rejection. Buyers kept were able to at least to keep prices there. Let's see if we start seeing selling aggressions and buyers absorbing here. But there is a resistance, and we see decrease of activity right there. This is not good for those who were believing in a continuity of the move, the continuity of the move. It seems that the indicator didn't change things, didn't change the perspective, didn't add conviction. It's not a surprise, but because it was not that, it was not maybe top five indicators, important, but not the most. Oh, you see here, we're seeing sellers trying to defend, but buyers absorbing. Let's see if this time they will be able to. Such absorption in the top many times can lead to an exhaustion, but we've seen this session at least 5 times. We're actually ranging, but after 35 minutes, maybe if we see actually a breakout here, moving upwards and failing to re-enter this range, could be a indication of the continuity. But look here, it was the second time in a row that it didn't overcome and did not even reach the high. This is not a good signal for buyers. Let's see, it's in such important resistance. I would say that it, it's lacking conviction for buyers. Sellers are defending. Okay, they're defending. But we didn't see a huge and unusual buying aggressive order. We're trading negative. We are almost at the previous low. We're struggling to trade above the previous low, but lower than the close. Right in a resistance like this, buy should have overcome it before. They could succeed now, but I don't like when seeing such a strong difficulty. It seems now they're succeeding. And if they succeed, let's see. If we start seeing absorption above the 4, a good absorption, buying absorption above the 4, this could be a clue about the possibility of the continuity. Failing to even reach the 4 again to re-enter is also a good signal. Buyers trying, sellers defending. It's still missing, like I mentioned before, it's missing big orders, even though this time buyers have made some. Let's see here. If buyers are able to hold here, then this could be an interesting signal about the possibility of the continuity. See here, we had the breakout. We're trading above the range, and buyers are making this trying to build this resistance up here. This is good. It seems that today it's also it's not been easy. We are not seeing relevant displacements, 2 points, 3 points. It's been just reached the yesterday's close. Let's see how the intensity will be here. It will be important to have this intensity. This 550 to 6 became our reference here. To keep this bullish perspective, it would be interesting to hold above here. We've seen that we had a kind of pullback here, and it would be possible to enter long here when it moved downwards again. Let's see where it's going to be able to reach. 4009, 4011 is also important. But after struggling 35 minutes here within this region from, sorry, excuse me, 97 to 375, it overcame, and now we have this reference. Let's see. Let's see. As I mentioned, let's see, because if he enters this range, then we should watch out, because entering a range could lead to a test of the other side. But as I've mentioned in this weekend video, my video of Saturday, we need to stick to the flow, to the context, to see. We need to watch, to actually understand what's happening. Okay, we are kind of an uptrend. We have the moving average here in 2.50. So price re-entering at 250, it wouldn't mean necessarily that value area low has been lost, and that we would be in a downtrend, and then it could reach the 97. You would need to watch how it will whack down here. 525, they're putting pressure here in the 525. Let's see. This is our reference. This is no lower end, the new lower end of the second level, second range. Above the 625, we could see buyers trying to increase the pressure, or 675 actually, but sellers absorbed here, are absorbing here in 650. If we see here, if we see this happening, lots of defense right here, then he entering, it would increase the likelihood of speeding up downwards. Let's see if it's going to reach at least the 775. It wouldn't be, it's hard to bet against this. Let's see here. We have two 4,000 ticks candles with the high at 850. Now we've had an exhaustion right at the 8. Okay, this is not good to see. We have the high at 850. Buyers were putting pressure and stopped 2 ticks below. This is not good. Okay, buyers stopped aggressive orders and didn't put even at bid, the 8 at bid. So this is an important clue. To see such an exhaustion 2 ticks below the high shows kind of lack of conviction. it does not necessarily mean that it wouldn't break out there, but that it's lacking confidence, and then we should take care with such a breakout in the case of entering it. Sellers put pressure, buyers are absorbing. That means now buyers are absorbing up here, but we don't know who is going to win. Now we had a bit more intensity. What we should have continued to be better to see continuity of the, but it seems now it's going, or no. Let's see here, the 7. Let's see here, the 7, if this absorption, this buying absorption will be respected when coming back, coming downwards again. From 5 to 7, right here, this is the range, previous range we had. This 5 to 7 should be respected now. Look here, this shadow is definitely not good for buyers, but they're being able to push again. So it's, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's been tricky to trade. Did you see we had the breakout, then 2 points above it started ranging again in a range of 3 points. It's hard it's hard to you need to be precise, and you need to adjust, we need to adjust to have these facts clear in our minds, and if needed, adjust the setups or adjust the tactics, because we are not seeing those strong breakouts, interesting displacements. Sometimes it gets, or sometimes when it happens, it with few contracts we miss the start. There's not it does not give any relevant clue it's going to start, and it's a displacement with few contract. For me, this is not an opportunity. We're seeing buyers absorbing here again. Let's see, the 525 here is the, we're seeing here the, in my chart here, the 20 periods moving average is almost at the value area low. So I like seeing coincidence of indicators. For example, I use the value areas, resistance, and support from pivot points, VWAP. I like when I see the coincidence, or when at some point there are two. It's a coincidence of two, at least two indicators. This is interesting for me. I don't do anything beforehand, but it's usual to see things happening. So let's see. In the case of coming back, we could say we have the value area low here at the 4. Okay. So we could see, since we're seeing good displacement with few contracts, we could see actually price re-entering the range, maybe with few contracts. But if it quickly recovers and move upwards above the the 525 again, entering the 525 upwards again, it could goes until the 825 at least. Let's see. But the same concept I've mentioned up there is valid down here. If you see sellers putting pressure, making kind of breakout here, but with an exhaustion, then it's not that interesting. We just touched the moving average. Let's see if it will overcome the 525 again. Or we could see sellers defending the 4 here. And then this could be actually the re-entering in this range. Then in this case, we could see a test in the 9.8. Let's see. Look here, buyers trying to make aggressions, but sellers defending the 3.50. It's not that good for buyers. Look here, sellers actually trying to defend. But if they're able to reach the 25 with volume, we could see price moving up. But we're seeing sellers defending here, defending the limit of previous range. Let's see if to be able to reach at least the 525, but it's missing intensity to even reach the 525. It's interesting, look at here. We had a block when entering the range. We had buyers trying to defend one order here of 200 contracts. This is a big block. And it was fully absorbed here. This is meaningful. So this is, for me, if we're looking at the chart, you would only at the chart, you would lose this. But this is a very relevant information. Such a try to defense and a counter defense, it's in this place, in the end of range, this is meaningful and you should start observing this. So after trying so many times to overcome the 8, that's an important region, making a false breakout there. I've mentioned about the size of the shadow. Such a breakout there shouldn't have be aborted as it's been. So we lost the base of the upper range. We entered the lower range and suffering. Okay, that buyers are trying to defend, but they were not being able to push upwards. Let's see. At the same time, something I like observing. Look here, we have 3 candles in the 4,000 ticks, 3 candles with the same low, 225. And we are seeing all this buying absorption here. For me, 3 or 4 candles with such a pressure and failing to be broken many times, it leads to a counteroffense, or in this case, after 3 candles struggling The defense is not unusual to see an opposite move. And we're seeing our previous low was at 9.5 right here. Prices failed in the breakout over there. It was moving down here. It's failing to reach the view up and found a strong support above the view up. Let's see how it's going to finish, because if we see here, and then if we see after 3 candles failing here, if prices overcome the 450, we could see a try of reaction, but could, since because this is really strong. This end of the range is really strong. If buyers fail, if buyers fail to overcome the 425, for me it would be a confirmation of the weakness. Yeah, it should have ran. This is a signal that we could. It failed to escape from this range. No, Aaron, I didn't. Usually when I'm narrating here, I usually try to avoid doing something, but especially today I'm not doing anything. It was kind of confusing in that in the beginning. I would maybe do have been doing something right here. Now this 4 was meaningful for me. I could be doing something, because in this try of overcoming, I understand that if it was to to resume the bullish trend, we shouldn't have failed here. Then this latest fail for me is a more bearish signal. Then I could maybe have entered short here, but I don't like it when it's too stuck or too. But you see this. It seems that maybe this latest rationale about the fail at the 425 could be working. But you see, every time, everywhere, the opponent are trying to defend. When we move up there, we see sellers defending. Now sellers attacking. We see buyers defending. So here we are right in the middle of the range. So I wouldn't be doing anything at all here. I would need to wait the 9.8 or 9.7 to consider doing something. Let's see if this time, this is another time that if failing again, you see here, 325 absorption again. This was maybe another opportunity to enter. I would have entered short. This absorption here could be a clue. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. It's we had two ranges so far. The first one from 9.7 to 3, then 5 to 8, and now we re-entered. I just don't like in such a trend. I don't like any even seeing something, some support down in between. In such a condition, such an amount of contracts, I don't like entering anything in between. I prefer to trade the limits. But you're fully right. We are in a range, and you're right. I agree. You're right. I mean, it's I agree with you. It's we have same. we have a similar perspective. Let's see here. Just a second. Let's see here the A87. Few contracts, did you see below the zero? Few contracts. I don't like see. I don't believe that much, or I don't like trusting such a big move. So we see the C an exhaustion here at the six. But this is something I like. I like trading both up here and when it happens down as well. So we have when we have this such such a false breakout in such a condition, I like entering against the trade because many times both up there and down here many times lead to a good not necessarily a reversal, but usually usually leads to good moves. What about the downside breakout, though? You are actually, I agree, Aaron, because for me, the perspective is more bearish than bullish because we spent so many times around the 04. When it moved up, when the breakout took place, it failed to overcome the 8. So it's things are not easy to buyers. When it's usual to see this buyers trying move, but when there's an exhaustion, when their contracts are over, it's not unusual to see things speeding up, and it's what seems to be happening. But few contracts again. Now we had this absorption in 595 here, but now it seems we are getting a. Let's see here. We just had a breakout, buyers defending and sellers absorbing. This is meaningful as well. So you were worried, Aaron, and it was definite. You were definitely right. Let's see until where is it going. Oh, looks such absurd. It does not mean that there will be a continue, but 1,000 contracts being absorbed by sellers in the low. This for me is a huge demonstration of bearish appetite. Buyers making these aggressions and sellers selling, providing liquidity at the day's low, session's low. Does not mean that it will run, but it's meaningful. Let's see if buyers actually won. If they are able to hold prices here to start absorbing here, then could give them a breath. I like it's interesting to see this big green bar here. Let's see in the case of if it overcomes the 3, what could be happening? Let's see if it will be able to overcome the 3. We've seen this defense here, 350, 325, it would be interesting, but moving downwards below this 90 here, we could see things speeding up. Oh, just seen here, 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is my average of stream. I will finish here. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching live or the record, if you like, actually, just leave a like, please. It's interesting for the channel. Let's see what happened. Yeah, Aaron, just reading your latest comments. Let's see the pullback in the range. Let's see, but sellers are being able to defend here the 250. Let's see if it will even reach the range again, isn't it? So especially you, Aaron, thanks. You're always here. Thank you for joining again. Not sure about not sure about Thursday if I'll be able to. Probably I will not be able to make the stream on Thursday, but on next Tuesday again I will be here, and it will be I will be glad to see you here again. Okay, so thanks for joining, Aaron. Have a nice session and week, my friend, and thank you all.